I'll take the attendance. Right? By the time I think all will come, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yesterday, some of the students know they joined late and I could not mark them present. So do let me know that all those who took late entry in the class, no, let me know so that I can mark you present. You know, class, yesterday was 2nd of December. Anything special?
I never use phone.
Huh?
Ma'am, National Pollution.
Huh. Why
Pollution
this?
day.
Yes. Why this national
Ma'am,
pollution
national
is celebrated? Why it is celebrated?
Ma'am, to make aware, to make
Ma'am,
the
Bhopal gas
country.
tragedy.
Yes, it is because of the Bhopal gas tragedy that took place on that particular date in the year 1984, 2nd of December 1984. Right? We did this in
Mama,
class.
status.
Yes, Pavni?
I saw it on your status.
Ha. I forgot to discuss it with you people in the class, no? Good. Okay, attendance, right? Aiza is present.
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Akansha is not there. Apurva is not there. Daksh is there in the class. Dhruv, not there. Gargi,
Present, ma'am.
yes. Gaurav Singh, Harsh Tomar, Jay Gupta.
Ma'am present, Harsh Tumar present.
Okay. Jay is not there. Jigyasa.
Jay present, ma'am. Jay present.
Jay, कहाँ है Jay?
Yeah.
Switch on your camera. I can't see you, Jay. Where are you?
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Very good. Very good. Right. Then we have Jujhar. Is Jujhar there in the class? No. Kartikeya Bhatt? No. Malay?
Ma'am, Jigyasa present.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Jigyasa present. Yes. Malay is there. Manish not there. Manthan.
ma'am.
Manish is there. Manish, are you there? Was this Malay or Manish?
Ma'am, Malay.
Ma'am,
Fine, fine, fine. Manthan, not there. Mohit Gangwar. Naina.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, Naina.
present,
Naman.
ma'am.
Naman. Niharika.
Present, ma'am.
Om Sharma, not there. Pavni. Yes. Pranjal.
Ma'am, Dhruv present.
Dhruv is present. You came late?
Pavni present.
Yes, Pavni is present. Pranjal, not present. Puneet, present.
Ma'am, my audio was not yet.
Okay, fine. It's okay. Puneet is there. Samarth.
Present, ma'am.
Samarth is there. Okay. Shaurya Shukla, not in the class. Shreya Gangwar.
Present, ma'am.
Srishti Gautam. Srishti Singh.
Present, ma'am.
हाँ. Siddhant. Stuti, Swali, Tina. Tina, are you there?
Ma'am, present.
Yesterday you were there in the class? Viresh?
Ma'am, Swali present.
Okay, Swali is present.
Ma'am, Zainab present.
Zainab is present. Okay, Zainab is present. Yes, Zainab is present.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, ma'am, Zainab is present.
Yash Mehta? Not present. Fine. So what is our system of elections? Do you know? How do we conduct elections? Do you know? Class, do you know how do we conduct elections?
Ma'am,
Yes,
free
ma'am.
and fair elections are
And
conducted
with the
in
help
our
of Election
country.
Commission.
With the help of election commission, yes. When the election dates are announced, what all provisions are made by the election commission for conducting free and fair elections? What is the
Ma'am, proper poll booths are set up.
yes,
Ma'am, some restrictions are placed.
yes. First of all, what is done? Do you know?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
every
election
party
campaigning is
tries to make
restricted.
the
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, first, before the election, like before 1 or 2 days of election, like the opposite parties, they start showing themselves as if they will do everything for their voters and try to gain their trust, and they try to make um, assure that they will maintain all the facilities, and they will give every facility to each and every person.
Okay, okay. What else?
Constituencies are divided
Yes.
for the election.
Very good. See, the first thing that takes place as soon as the elections are announced, electoral constituencies are made, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. This is the first and the foremost thing that is done once the elections are announced, right? So without wasting time, let us start. What is our system of elections? Now,
Ma'am, I had one doubt.
yes, yes, Viresh.
Ma'am, if someone gets the right to make the constituencies on his own basis,
No, it is not there. These constituencies are made by the election commission, and these constituencies are made as per the number of people living in the state, right?
okay, ma'am.
Ah, right. Gargi, read beta.
What is our system of elections? Can we say that Indian elections are democratic? To answer this question, let us take a look at how elections are held in India. Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha assembly elections are held regularly after every 5 years.
Okay, wait,
After
Gargi.
5 years,
Wait. You all know what are Lok Sabha elections and what are Vidhan Sabha elections?
yes,
Anybody?
ma'am.
Anybody who is not clear about Lok Sabha elections and Vidhan Sabha elections?
Ma'am, could you
Ma'am,
explain
can
once?
you please give a gist of it?
Okay. See, Lok Sabha elections are the elections for the central government. The elections that are held after every 5 years to choose the prime minister and to choose which political party will be ruling over the center. ठीक है? यूनियन गवर्नमेंट जिसको हम
Okay,
बोलते
ma'am.
हैं या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट जिसको हम बोलते हैं, फॉर दैट लोकसभा इलेक्शंस आर कंडक्टेड, राइट? एंड विधानसभा, which is the assembly elections, they are for the state, right? They are for the states. Every year,
Yes.
like after every 5 years, whenever, like in UP, if you take example of UP, 2017 last Vidhan Sabha elections were held, right? So after 5 years, that is in 2000, which year? In
22.
2022. In 2022, we'll be having the next Vidhan
Ma'am,
Sabha
22.
elections in UP, right? So this is the basic difference between Lok Sabha elections and the Vidhan Sabha election. All the processes, everything is the same. बट द ओनली डिफरेंस इज दैट लोकसभा, व्हेनेवर लोकसभा इलेक्शंस आर देयर, और इनको हम वो भी बोलते हैं इनका एक और नाम होता है इनके इलेक्शंस को, हम और क्या बोलते हैं, चलो I'll get I'll tell you. ठीक है, these elections are for choosing the central government and the Vidhan Sabha elections are for choosing the state government, right, of the respective state. I hope this is clear now to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Gargi, now continue, beta.
After 5 years, the term of all the elected representatives come to an end. The Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha stands dissolved. Elections are held in all constituencies at the same time, either on the same day or within a few days. This is called a general election. Sometimes election is held only for one constituency to fill the vacancy caused by death or resignation of a member. This is called a by-election.
Okay.
In this chapter, we will focus on general elections.
Wait. Now you know the difference between like Lok Sabha elections are called the general elections also, right? So आम चुनाव जिनको हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं आम चुनाव, तो general elections and by elections, is there any difference? Is there any confusion in these two? These are two different terms, right, class?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
By elections are held to fill a vacancy that is caused by either death or by resignation or any other reason, right? But the general elections are the elections which are held after every 5 years to choose either the central government or the state
Ruling
government.
party.
Yes, right?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Beta Gargi.
Ma'am, what will be the tenure of the representative chosen by a by-election?
बेटा बाय इलेक्शन में तो वही टेन्योर वही होता है, मतलब क्योंकि इन बिटवीन द वैकेंसी को फिल कराया तो उसका टाइम पीरियड उतना ही रहता है. अगर 4 साल बचे तो 4 साल तक द पर्सन इज गोइंग टू बी देयर, और अगर 3 साल है तो 3 साल के लिए. ठीक है
Ma'am, do we call the Vidhan Sabha election MLA election also?
यस, विधानसभा एमएलए के लिए होता है बेटा, मेंबर्स ऑफ लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली के लिए, और लोकसभा इलेक्शंस फॉर द एमपीज. ठीक है.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, जनरल इलेक्शन को अगर हमें डिफाइन करना हो तो हम इसको डिफाइन करते हैं, व्हेन एन इलेक्शन इज हेल्ड इन ऑल कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज and people from all parts of the country participate to choose their representatives for parliament. It is called a general election. ये हमारा स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली के लिए भी सेम चीज लागू होती है, क्योंकि ये जनरल इलेक्शंस है. जब इनको हम नेम दे देते हैं कि लोकसभा इलेक्शंस और विधानसभा इलेक्शन, तब फिर वो रिस्पेक्टिव उसके लिए हो जाता है. लोकसभा मतलब सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, विधानसभा मतलब स्टेट गवर्नमेंट. ठीक है, राइट?
Yes, ma'am.
वेरी गुड. ओके, चलिए गार्गी कंटिन्यू बेटा.
Electoral constituencies. You read about the people of Haryana electing 90 MLAs. You may have wondered how they did that. Did every person in Haryana vote for all the 90 MLAs? You perhaps know that this is not the case. In our country, we follow an area-based system of representation. The country is divided into different areas for purposes of elections. These areas are called electoral constituencies.
Okay, wait.
The voters who live.
Wait. Okay, class, this much portion is clear to all of you and understood?
Yes, ma'am.
See,
Yes, ma'am.
what is
Yes, ma'am.
constituency? Constituency refers to an area which is limited for the purpose of elections. ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. और इलेक्टोरेट क्या होता है? इलेक्टोरेट और कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में कुछ डिफरेंस है कि दोनों एक ही चीज है?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any difference between constituency and electorate, or are they same?
Ma'am, don't know.
ठीक है.
I don't know.
इलेक्टोरेट का मतलब होता है a body of people who are qualified to vote in the elections for the legislatures or the local bodies. ठीक है, या तो लेजिस्लेचर्स में, मतलब चाहे तो आप उधर आपका स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हो गया, या आपका सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट हो गया, या फिर लोकल बॉडीज के लिए जो लोग क्वालिफाई करते हैं टू वोट इन इलेक्शन, दे आर, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज इलेक्टोरेट। ठीक है,
ओके मैम।
हाँ, फाइन। और कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी क्या होती है? जब एक एरिया को लिमिट कर दिया जाता है फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ इलेक्शन। ठीक है,
ओके मैम।
चलो, सृष्टि, इज दिस क्लियर टू यू?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Swali and Malay,
Yes, ma'am.
Samarth, Zainab, Mohit, चलो कंटिन्यू करके।
The voters who live in an area elect one representative. For Lok Sabha elections, the country is divided into 543 constituencies. The representative elected from each constituency is called a Member of Parliament or an MP. One of the features of a democratic election is that every vote should have equal value. That is why our constitution requires that each constituency should have a roughly equal population living within it.
Okay, now
Similarly,
hold, wait. Now this, for Lok Sabha elections, the country is divided into 543 constituencies. ठीक है, जब लोकसभा इलेक्शंस होते हैं तो पूरे कंट्री को हम कितनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज में डिवाइड करते हैं?
543.
मैम 543
543, ठीक है, पूरे कंट्री को डिवाइड कर दिया जाता है। हम अगर पूछते हैं कि व्हाट इज द नंबर ऑफ लोकसभा कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज इन इंडिया, तो आप क्या बताओगे हमको?
543.
543, वेरी गुड।
543
क्योंकि हम ये लोकसभा, हम लोकसभा के बाद इलेक्शंस की बात कर रहे हैं, जिसमें कि पूरे कंट्री को डिवाइड किया जाता है इनटू 543 कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज। ठीक है, और जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी से इलेक्ट होते हैं, all the representatives who are elected from each constituency in Lok Sabha elections from these 543 constituencies are called the member of parliament or an MP.
MP
ठीक है, now what is the feature of democratic elections? In that every vote should have equal value. That is why our constitution requires that each constituency should have a roughly equal population living within it. जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज बनाई जाती हैं वो पॉपुलेशन को देखते हुए बनाई जाती हैं। एक किसी एरिया में कितने नंबर ऑफ पीपल आर लिविंग, डेंसिटी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन पढ़ा है ना हम लोगों ने?
Yes, ma'am.
पढ़ा है ना?
yes ma'am
इस चीज को ध्यान में रखते हुए कि भाई एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया में कितने लोग रह रहे हैं, उनके पॉपुलेशन को कैलकुलेट करके कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज को डिवाइड किया जाता है फॉर द लोकसभा इलेक्शंस। और आप बताओ, स्टेट इलेक्शंस के लिए क्या किया जाता है, किनको डिवाइड किया जाता है कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज में?
Ma'am, districts.
Wait. Zainab, you are there in the class?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, जैनब बताओ, जब स्टेट इलेक्शंस होते हैं तब कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज किसकी बनाई जाती हैं? स्टेट में बनाई जाती है कि दोबारा से पूरी कंट्री में बनाई जाती हैं?
No, I think states.
हाँ, इन द स्टेट्स ओनली। और तो स्टेट्स में कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज कैसे डिसाइड करते हैं वो लोग? ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स। ठीक है, हाँ, चलिए ठीक है, वेरी गुड। गार्गी, कैरी ऑन।
Similarly, each state is divided into a specific number of assembly constituencies. In this case, the elected representative is called the Member of Legislative Assembly or an MLA. Each parliamentary constituency has within it several assembly constituency. The same principle applies for panchayat and municipal elections. Each village or town is divided into several wards that are like constituencies. Each ward elects one member of the village or the urban local body. Sometimes these constituencies are counted as seats, for each constituency represents one seat in the assembly.
Okay.
When we say that low,
Wait.
when we
एक मिनट रुको। ईच वर्ड आप कहाँ पढ़ रहे हो?
ma'am, when
बस ठीक है, अभी
last
रुको।
paragraph.
Okay, fine, got it. Okay, class, any doubts in these lines that Gargi has read just now?
no ma'am
No, ma'am.
चलिए.
No,
Then,
ma'am.
then you carry on, Gargi.
When we say that Lok Dal won 60 seats in Haryana, it means that candidates of Lok Dal won in 60 assembly constituencies in the state, and thus Lok Dal had 60 MLAs in the state assembly.
Very good. Hmm. Fine. There is a question. Can you all see these two? One is Gulbarg Lok Sabha constituency and Gulbarg district in Karnataka. Now, can you all see
Yes,
this?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you observe,
Yes, ma'am.
and then
Yes, ma'am.
district boundary is with red. Then boundaries of assembly constituencies, area within district but outside Lok Sabha constituency, Gulbarg Lok Sabha constituency, yellow color, right? Now, why is the boundary of the Gulbarg Lok Sabha constituency not the same as the district boundary of Gulbarg? Batao?
Ma'am, because it is divided on the basis of population.
Yes, very good. Now, how many assembly constituencies are there in the Gulbarg Lok Sabha constituency? Do you know? Anybody?
Ma'am, 8.
Rest?
Ma'am, 8.
Yes, ma'am. 8.
8.
Okay. सही से कैलकुलेट करा आप लोगों ने?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है.
Yes, ma'am.
Number of Lok Sabha constituency is 8. Now, is it the same in your own Lok Sabha constituency? आपके स्टेट की भी ऐसी है क्या?
No, ma'am.
यूपी में
No,
कितनी?
ma'am.
यूपी की कितनी है?
No, ma'am.
यूपी में कितनी
No,
है?
ma'am.
देखो यूपी में कितनी है?
Ma'am, 80.
यूपी में कितनी है?
Ma'am, 80. Ma'am, it is 80.
Ma'am, 80.
80. ठीक है?
80.
ठीक है?
Yes,
चलिए,
ma'am.
वेरी गुड. तो वहां और हमारे उसमें डिफरेंस है. ठीक है? चलिए.
Yes, ma'am.
चलो. Now coming to the next one. Now what is this reserved? देखो constituencies हमने पढ़ ली. We know that constituencies it refers to an area which is limited for the purpose of election. Now what are these reserved constituencies? Do you know anybody who knows in the class?
Ma'am, which are reserved for a particular community of people.
Right, right. Now why it was
Ma'am, there are some reserved some constituencies are reserved for some other group of people like SC and ST.
okay. Now why do you think that they have reserved constituencies?
Ma'am, because those particular communities were quite uninfluential, that's why.
They were not given facilities. They were not clearly represented, right?
Yes, ma'am. So because of it, it was reserved.
Yes, yes. Because of this, it is reserved for them, right? Now, see,
yes, ma'am.
Concept of reserved constituency was kept in the was there in the minds of the constitution makers. Especially it was Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar who initiated, who suggested that the constitution should have reserved constituencies for such people, because in the past these communities, or the what do you call, sections which were part of the society, they were completely deprived of communities. They were the weaker sections, because the constitution makers, they felt that if these people will not be given reserved constituency, then they will never have a proper representation, because their number in comparison to the others was less. And moreover, these were the people who were completely deprived of all the facilities in the past, and they were not influential, and they were not resourceful as well. So just to provide them a strong what do you call, strong hand with power of the vote, reserved constituencies were made, so that there is proper representation of these people also in the parliament as well as in the legislative assemblies. right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now this thought, the reserved constituency, through the reserved constituency, it was tried to promote the political empowerment among the weaker sections. Okay. Let us have Pavni reading this now. Reserved constituencies.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Reserved constituency. Our constitution entitles every citizen to elect her his representative and to be elected as a representative. The constitution makers, however, were worried that in an open electoral competition, certain weaker sections may not stand a good chance to get elected to the Lok Sabhas and the state legislative assemblies. They may not have the required resources, education, and contacts to contest and win against elections. Those who are influential and resourceful may prevent them from winning elections. If that happens, our parliament and assemblies would be deprived of the voice of a significant section of our population. That would make our democracy less representative and less democratic. So, the makers of our constitution thought of a special system of reserved constituencies for the weaker sections. Some constituencies are reserved for people who belong to the scheduled caste (SC) and scheduled tribes (ST). In a
You
ST
know,
reserved
wait,
constituency,
Pavni, wait. Do you
yes,
know
ma'am.
during the freedom struggle, you know, when the freedom struggle was on, when all the nationalist movements were, you know, taking place by Gandhi ji, during that time, you know, when somewhere in 1930, when the Indians started, you know, realizing, when they started realizing that, you know, the British rule is becoming quite exploitative in nature, and now this was the time to, you know, declare Swaraj and all those things. During this time, in London, roundtable conferences were, you know, organized by Lord Irwin. Now, in these roundtable conferences, Gandhi ji was always, you know, he was always called for the meetings, because these people, the British, felt that, you know, Gandhiji was a very influential person, and whatever you know whatever, what do you call, problems were taking place between, you know, Indians and the British, that could be easily resolved through Gandhiji. So in one such roundtable conference, second roundtable conference, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, he was also part of that meeting. He was also called over there, and you know, during the meeting, when everybody was discussing on all the points that were, you know, part of that meeting, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he came on one point. He said, you know, he demanded, he had put one demand in front of the British, that we want, like, Dalits, he demanded a separate electorate for the Dalits. When Gandhiji heard this, he was shocked. He really felt that, as if, you know, the country is divided into parts. And Gandhiji could not take this, you know, suggestion of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. When the meeting got over, when Gandhiji came out, when Dr. B.R. Ambedkar came out, Gandhiji, you know, had a word with him, with the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He said, why do you want to divide the country by asking for separate electorate? Because Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said that, because I know that Dalits are not equally represented in the, you know, country, and they were always deprived of the facilities that were given to everyone in the society. So Gandhiji said that we can think of some other, you know, provisions. Why do you want separate electorate? Separate electorate का मतलब पता है, समझते हैं आप क्या होता है? Separate electorate मतलब इन लोगों के लिए अलग से इलेक्शंस होंगे, इनके अलग से जो है लीडर्स चुने जाएंगे. तो गांधी जी को लगा कि भाई अगर ऐसा हो जाता है तो इट विल क्रिएट प्रॉब्लम फॉर दी, यू नो, कंट्री, क्योंकि हम यहाँ पे हम इंडिपेंडेंस की बात कर रहे हैं, और इंडिपेंडेंस को ये छोड़ के जो है दे आर आस्किंग फॉर सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट. तो गांधी जी ने बहुत कन्विंस करने की कोशिश करी डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर को कि आप ऐसा कुछ मत करो. तो अल्टीमेटली गांधी जी ने एक सजेशन दिया उनको कि भाई हम सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट नहीं रखेंगे, पर हम रिजर्व्ड कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज तो रख ही सकते हैं. हम उनके लिए एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन तो रख ही सकते हैं कि भाई वो इक्वली रिप्रेजेंटेड रहे इन दी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, इन द, यू नो, कंट्री, इन दी असेंबली. तो उन्होंने कहा कि भाई आप ऐसा करो कि आप अलग से कुछ मत करवाओ, अलग से इलेक्टोरेट मत लो, आप जो है रिजर्व करवा लो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज को। तो उन्होंने बोला कि अगर आप इस बात पे एग्री करते हो तो ही सेड व्हाई विल आई हैव प्रॉब्लम्स। बोले मैं तो ये चाहता हूँ कि भाई हमारे लोगों को जो है उनके साथ जो है इंजस्टिस नहीं होना चाहिए। तो
Yes, ma'am.
it was then decided that once if the constitution will be made, if the country will become independent, then there will be reserved constituencies for the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Was because of this provision of reserved constituencies was made, right? Okay, carry on, Parth.
Okay, ma'am.
Carry
Okay,
on.
ma'am.
In a ST reserved constituency, only someone who belongs to the scheduled caste can stand for election. Similarly, only those belonging to the scheduled tribes can contest an election from a constituency reserved for ST. Currently, in the Lok Sabha, 84 seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and 47 for the scheduled tribes as on 1st September 2012. This number is in proportion to their share in the total population. Thus, the reserved seats for ST and ST do not take away the legitimate share of any other social group. This system of reservation was extended later to other weaker sections at the district and local level. In many states, seats in rural, panchayat, and urban municipalities and corporations.
Wait.
Local bodies are now reserved for other backward classes, that is OBC, as well. However, the proportion for seats reserved varies from state to state. Similarly, 1/3 of the seats are reserved in rural and urban local bodies for women candidates.
Now, do I need to explain anything in this paragraph, whole paragraph?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So, ma'am,
Yes.
is that the constituencies that were reserved were first only for the ST and ST, and then after some time it also added OBC.
Yes, we have read about the other backward commissions, no? Other backward, this second backward commission we have heard about, we have read also the Mandal commission that was there. So this OBC came after that. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Class, till here everything is clear and understood, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
ma'am.
fine. Now coming to the voters list. Now what is this voters list? Do you know? Anybody in the class? Jay, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what is this voters list?
The list of voters who will elect the people for constituency.
The list of voters who elect
representatives.
अरे अगर आपसे कोई सिंपल वर्ड्स में पूछे कि वोटर्स लिस्ट क्या होती है, क्लास 1 के बच्चे को आपको
Ma'am, may I?
नहीं वेट, क्लास 1 के बच्चे को यू हैव टू टेल दैट व्हाट इज अ वोटर्स लिस्ट, तो आप उसको क्या बताओगे? वेट पावनी, वेट, बताओ जय। Okay, Pavni, you tell.
Ma'am, a voters list consists of the names of the people who are eligible to vote for their representatives
in the elections, whether it is Lok Sabha or the
in the
Vidhan Sabha, right?
Sabha. Yes,
right? Jay, now it is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, voters list is also known by the name of electoral roll, though it is commonly known as voters list.
Yes, ma'am.
But the other name for voters list is electoral roll. Now, this electoral roll consists, or it has the names of all those eligible voters who are of 18 years or above, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Okay. Pavni, carry on.
Voters list. Once the constituencies are decided, the next step is to decide who can and who cannot vote. This decision cannot be left to anyone till the last day. In a democratic election, the list of those who are eligible to vote is prepared much before the election and given to everyone. This list is officially called the electoral roll and is commonly known as the voters list. This is an important step for it is linked to the first condition of a democratic election. Everyone should get an equal opportunity to choose their representative. In chapter 1, we read about the principle of universal adult franchise. In practice, it means that everyone should have one vote and each vote should have one equal value. No one should be denied the right to vote without a good reason. Different citizens differ from one another in many ways. Some are rich, some are poor, some are highly educated, some are not so educated or not educated at all. Some are kind, others are not so kind. But all of them are human beings with their own needs and views. That is why all of them deserve to have an equal say in decisions that affect them.
Fine.
In our
See,
country, okay, ma'am.
okay. Now, see, a person whose name is there in voter list is not, it is not necessary that that person is a rich person or that person is highly qualified. It is not necessary. It is not a condition in our country. In our country's constitution has given all the people who are 18 years or above equal access to choose their representatives, right? So there is no discrimination followed on any basis for the voters list. All those who are eligible in the sense those who are 18 plus, right? And they, it is not necessary that they need to have a government job with them, then only they'll be
Yes, ma'am.
votes. It is not necessary that the person whose name is there in the voter list has to be very rich or then only he will be allowed to vote. No such criteria has been put forward by the constitution of our country for voting. In our country, all those people, we follow the universal adult franchise where all those people who are of 18 years or above, they are eligible to vote, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Pavni, carry on now.
Okay, ma'am.
Carry on.
In our country, all the citizens aged 18 years and above can vote in an election. Every citizen has the right to vote regardless of his or her caste, religion, or gender. Some criminals and persons with unsound minds ma'am, the page,
Now read.
can be denied the right to vote, but only in rare situations. It is the responsibility of the government to get the names of all the eligible voters put on the voters list. As new persons attain voting age, names are added to the voters list. Names of those who move out of a place or those